You probably saw a handful of videos like why it's worth making YouTube videos when nobody's watching or when you don't have any subscribers. And they do have interesting points. One thing that I'm really proud of that came from sticking with making of the videos, and that's usually one of the points, or sometimes at least, is that I got quite decent at talking to the camera. That mostly improved on my other channel, where I do have a few hundred subscribers, and I don't think I would stick with it if I wouldn't get the first few dozen subscribers, because it's really hard doing something not have a response. Like, videos are supposed to be communication, and like you cannot really communicate if nobody's watching, and that's kind of been bothering me here for a while. But going back to those videos, they do assume that you do want to have thousands or millions of subscribers at some point. Most YouTubers do, and there's nothing wrong with it. Most YouTubers start their channels for that reason, for earning money. But that wasn't ever the goal for this channel. For Music Forest, yes, I do want it monetized, because that's where I will be posting. Well, I'm posting the short films, and I will be posting all my films and web series and whatever I will be doing. So yes, I do want people to watch my movies, and I do want to earn something from them. But I always knew that this channel, being about filmmaking and having nothing to do with cameras and gear and everything that's usually on filmmaking channels, is too niche to ever be very popular. Possibly if I would become a very famous filmmaker, but right now I cannot. My situation right now as a busy mom, that I cannot churn out movies all the time to build this body of work, also makes this channel less interesting. And I do believe there are people that will benefit from having this outlook of, yes, I can make films fast, but I'll still keep going at it, and I have few years planned ahead of me, and going with me through that could be very encouraging, because that's the missing part in the hustle culture, that you cannot always just hustle through. There are more important things sometimes that you have to deal with first, and you cannot also burn yourself out, because then there will be nothing left. You will not have energy to keep going with filmmaking or whatever your dream is if you do burn yourself out. So yes, you can make one movie, maybe 2 or 3 even, by hustling, by pushing yourself beyond and having life, having other responsibilities. But how long? Would it even matter if you will do those 3 films and then nothing for years? So I think my approach of slowly building your filmmaking career is a good thing, and it's needed outlook, but it's definitely not popular, because filmmaking is already hard, and people don't want to hear that it's even harder than it could be. So people are naturally drawn to being told that yes, you can do your movie in 1 week, or fast at least. So I created this mainly so it would be just a place for me to talk about filmmaking as I see it, to meet like-minded filmmakers and build friendships. With that, actually having someone watch those videos would be very helpful, and to have accountability to work on my movies. So it was never meant to be like YouTube business, but I kind of lost track of it, because I want to be good at what I'm doing. So I do watch lots of videos about advice how to be successful on YouTube, and I think that mindset harmed me a little bit. But I obviously, even having this mental attitude of not counting on views, instead I focused on the accountability part. which isn't a bad thing, but I should have known better that there will be times where pushing myself won't be the right thing to do. But when I missed posting on a Saturday, I felt so bad. I really felt like a fraud of a filmmaker. What author will ever trust me with their rights if I can't even consistently make YouTube videos? So at least that was my kind of thinking during that time. And when another Saturday was approaching and I still didn't have a video, I finally realized that nobody cares. Nobody even knows I'm making those videos, and I let go. I could have forced myself to record something, but it would be exactly that, forced. I missed those Saturdays because I had too much going on to have brain space for filmmaking, for creativity. Thankfully it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's a clear sign that I have to drop whatever can be dropped. And maybe recording videos for nobody should have been dropped way earlier, but this space is just too important for me to just give up on. I'm glad I didn't give it up, but I could have realized sooner that I truly needed a break, even from filmmaking, from recording videos, which I count as my break, but it's still work. So it was already hard for me to accept that I need to stop making those videos for a time. And I'm really relieved that I don't have any subscribers, because I would feel obliged to make those videos. And it could have taken me even longer to realize that I'm not actually lazy, but really in need of rest. So I took almost a month off at this point. I did upload the indie film Ungated last week, but it was pre-recorded. It still took me longer than usual to edit, but at least it wasn't so badly recorded as sometimes my videos can be. Only this week I started to feel normal again. Normal and inspired, really. I had like few stages of coming back to creativity. One was while actually I was editing the episode, when I realized that yes, I'm making short films with fantasy elements, but that's not quite enough for my audience, because fantasy viewers like things to look pretty. It's one of the things that draws me to this genre, and my favorite movies outside of fantasy are pretty. It's the 2005 Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley, that one, because Pride and Prejudice was adapted quite a few times and it just has gorgeous cinematography. And I watched the BBC one once, which is more loyal to the books, but it isn't as pretty, so I just watched it once and never again, because I don't care about the story as much as just about the look of the film. The same goes with Divergent. I don't think I do like the story that much, but it's just pretty. Like, whenever they had a question, okay, do we make it logical or pretty, they chose pretty. Well, maybe, I don't know if whenever, but the scene when she escapes and looks for her father, goes into this warehouse, she stands against a window of the door, which is like reasonably stupid. There are people outside there looking for you and shooting, so yes, they can see you through the window and they can shoot you in the head because your head is leaning against this window, and I really don't think it's bulletproof. But it really worked for this scene because the lighting was pretty and it accented her mood and her grief, that her face was in the darkness and it was just lighted from the back. And I think that's kind of the thing that more fantasy fans look forward to, that it's just really pleasant thing to watch. So I'm glad I didn't do the Sneeze Wizard yet, because my plan was, okay, it's going to be crazy, I'm going to make it with two of my kids acting, my husband acting, myself acting too, and then we have the rest of the kids to take care of. So my goal for the movie was just to make it, and that would be big success for me because it's logistically complicated for me. But listening through all this kind of episode a few times, of course, because I was editing it, made me realize that's yes, I would make this movie. It has the possibility of few people liking it, but because it wouldn't be as pretty, it wouldn't be widely enjoyed in this niche. So by putting a little bit more effort into planning better, storyboarding better, setting up all the shots better, it will be actually more effective for my goals, because yes, it will be a story with fantasy and element in it, and it will be pretty, hopefully. Coming back to the getting adaptation rights from authors, I really doubt that any of them will even think about checking if I have a YouTube and if I ever missed posting YouTube video. So it was really all in my head that I was trying to convince myself that I'm not good enough to accomplish my dreams. And I think it's mostly because of the narrative in the culture that you do have to hustle and grind yourself half to death to accomplish anything, which is part true. Yes, you do accomplish more things if you put everything in for a time, but it's also untrue because hustle doesn't guarantee you success. So yes, you can put everything in one basket and it may still not work out and you'll be worn out. So I'm still in the process of rewiring myself and trying to make the filmmaking journey really joyful, especially since filmmaking is my hobby. That's it for today. Thank you for watching and for sticking with me through my psychological problems. See you next week, hopefully. I do think so, because another thing that I came up with during that time is, because the Sneeze Wizard is kind of overwhelming for me because of the logistics, I really wanted to make a movie just by myself again, and I decided to skip my niche and make a documentary about gardening. So I'm quite possibly going to start filming it this week. It won't be finished until the end of summer or maybe even next spring. I will need to decide more properly what I will need from the footage and from things happening in the garden.